The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting with Rick Milne in the village of Honeoye Falls. Rick, what's happening there?
Well, good afternoon, Chris. Great to see you and everyone else on the call today. Just want to go over a couple of things regarding budget again and tax caps, etc. So the village will conduct a public hearing on April 7th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to pass local law number 2. This is the law that will repeal local law number 1 of 2026. Local law number 1 was the law which allowed the village to override the 2% tax cap that we pass every year. Since we are not going to exceed the tax cap, local law number 1 must be repealed as part of the legal process. So that will be done at 6 p.m. on April 7th. Immediately following that, at 6:05 p.m., the village board has unanimously agreed to move forward to public hearing with the 2026-2027 village budget as currently prepared. The budget will reflect no tax rate increase within the general budget, and the sewer budget will also remain flat with no rate increase to existing connections. The public hearing has been scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 at 6:05 p.m., directly after the first public hearing. Copies of the budget may be reviewed at the Village Hall during regular business hours, and the budget has been posted to the village website, www.villageofhoneoyefalls.gov. Then directly after that, our village annual meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th as well, and that will begin at 6:30 p.m. This is the meeting that all annual business resolutions and appointments are made. That is always open to the public, and we welcome people. It's somewhat of a tedious meeting, making all the appointments, etc. But it's something we have to do each and every year, and we do look forward to it. And we'll also give some kudos to some of our employees that have attained certain employment status for years of employment. As I mentioned last week, the village is going to be forming a committee to develop a plan to apply and obtain the New York Forward program. We are beginning to advertise for that now. So if you're interested in signing up for this committee, please reach out to me at Village Hall, 624-1711. I'm at extension 104, and you can email me at mayor@villageofhoneoyefalls.gov. We will also plan to set up a public meeting that talks a little bit about this process, about what the grant's for, etc., to give people some more information, and we're in the process of planning that. As mentioned in other postings, the village has a continual tree maintenance program. Trees that are within village properties, village-owned properties, are continually looked at and inventoried, and are kept. Trees that are inventoried are kept in process. Aids in determining trees that should be removed, must be removed, or simply need attention. It's also important to note that the village plants trees each and every year. Some plantings are done by village staff, and others we have volunteers or conservation board members that may assist as well. If anyone has any concerns or questions about this process, again, reach out to me at the Village Hall. We are currently working on removing some trees within the village cemetery property that are in very poor health. New trees will be planted to replace them. And we also have a tree that split in the last storm within the village cemetery that had to be removed because of that damage. Lastly, our regular village board meeting scheduled for April our village board meeting scheduled for April 20th at 7 p.m. We'll have two public hearings with that as well. The April 20th, 2026 meeting, again at 7 p.m. One of the public hearings will be about an unregistered car that needs to be addressed. This is something that's become quite a big thing for us in the village. This is not something we really want to have to address, but it is part of village code. All cars that are in people's driveways, etc., must be licensed and registered. Certainly, they may have a car that's unregistered that they're immediately working on, but they can't sit there for months on end. So we have a public hearing that is going to start at 7:15 to talk about that. The second public hearing is to change our written zoning code to allow construction times to start at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, end times being 8 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sundays, these times will be set for 8 a.m. and ending at 6 p.m. Currently, the written code says that start times for construction are 8 a.m. The village has long allowed 7 a.m. start times. That is the common start time for the construction industry, and we have found that this really needs to be changed to apply more consistency within the code. So that public hearing will be again at 7:30 on Monday, April 20th. We will continue to discuss noise allowances within the code as well, and the consideration of creating a new business operating permit for all new businesses and a direction to impact or update current businesses as well. We hope that it'll be positive discussion, and we look forward to moving these discussions forward. Chris, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Well, we've got this in from Lee Hankins in the town of Rush. He says there is so much going on in Rush. I am sure everyone is glad that spring weather is here. We may still have a day or two of winter over the next few weeks, but we are headed into longer days, warmer days, and busier days ahead. We appreciate our highway department taking us through this difficult winter. For Rush residents who will be starting to clean up their yard of any fallen limbs from the winter, the highway department has set April 20th, weather permitting, as the start of their spring brush pickup days. There are guidelines on what they will pick up, and they can't tell us the exact date when they'll be on a specific road, so they ask us that we pile up parallel to the road at least 6 feet from the shoulder branches, twigs, carefully organized and out by that date. Also, if any resident has lawn damage because of highway winter plowing, they ask that residents call them to let them know. These are both highly valued town services and much appreciated by everyone. One issue facing Rush, and I have spoken about, this is Lee talking, Lee has spoken about previously in stormwater drainage. We have begun a comprehensive review of the drainage in the hamlet, starting with the town hall campus on Route 251 and Route 15A intersection, where we had serious flooding last June. This will take time and investment to make sure we repair and enlarge our ditches behind the town hall to improve the discharge of water into Honeoye Creek. This will help the town hall and the houses around us. Other areas of the town with stormwater flooding are also under review. Middle Road, Fishell Road, Stony Brook Road. Neighbors are helping by gathering accurate and real-time information to help develop improvement plans. Another topic I would like residents to know about: in the past years, our budget season did not get underway until July. This year, our budget season starts in April. The town board will schedule board workshops to discuss specific areas of the current budget and ways to achieve efficiency in service delivery, with a special focus on our employee benefits packages. Healthcare was the major concern last year and will continue to be a major topic of discussion in this budget season. We want to do our best to resolve it early in the budget process. In that regard, we are exploring several options that work in other towns to provide high-quality, comprehensive health care at manageable costs. We will search for the best option for our employees for 2027. This is critical to continue our quality services, protect taxpayers, and maintain a positive financial outlook for our town long term. We must start now and make sure everyone is involved. Finally, Lee would like to say thank you to all Rush residents who take time out of their busy lives to get involved. He appreciates you coming to town board meetings, your emails, and your office visits. It helps him better understand what is important to you and where you want your tax dollars to go. Government is always better with engaged and vocal citizens. Your support is appreciated, and Lee continues to learn all the ways that we need to work together to have a successful and vibrant community in Rush. Happy spring, everyone. That was from Lee Hankins, the town of Rush. Now it's over to Tim Schiefen, the town of West Springfield. What's wild and woolly in West Springfield? There you go, Steve. Right, Tim.
Well, we actually had a woolly mammoth sighting last night, but that was after a couple hours at the gin mill. Just kidding. We got all kinds of stuff going on over here. I'll try to get through this briefly and hit the highlights and get this thing out of the way. At our most recent town board meeting, we were able to fill all of our open planning and zoning board seats. Much like Lee commented, we've had a tremendous amount of people step up to the plate and be willing to join us on those zoning and planning boards. So we welcome Birgit Coffey, Todd Caffo, and Mark Kaiser to our planning board. And we welcome Chris Beaver to our zoning board. These are some fascinating people that bring a tremendous amount of skills and professional attributes with them to these boards. I'm really excited to see these additions. And I may have beat this to death, but this is a situation that my predecessor could not achieve in his tenure. We had board seats open for as long as I can remember. We finally got those board seats complete. Along with that, we moved up Kurt Barnes to the chairman of the planning board, and we moved up Steve Brent to the chairman of the zoning board. So it's going to be nice to have full boards and the ability to push our business through the proper processes with the correct amount of board members and a bunch of new, bright-minded people with some skills that I think are going to really lend well to that process. We also have enacted a public comment time before and after the meeting with my new hand at the helm here. And we have many eager residents willing to participate there. Sometimes that can make our board meeting go quite a bit longer than we anticipate. And, you know, I want to remind our constituents, this is an opportunity for you to come and to make a comment. We might not always give you a response at public comment time. Unfortunately, I have an Achilles heel. I like to talk. I like to engage. I'm a people person. So I do answer some questions, and I do want our members in the audience to feel that their comments and their questions are welcomed. However, next month we're going to have some rules. We've got a podium that you're going to be asked to come up and step up to state your comments. We're going to ask you that you limit your comments to 3 minutes or less for the benefit of time. And I'm going to beg you, please keep them pertinent to what's on our agenda and what's going on right now. When people from our public come and they got to rehash disappointments or unhappiness or this emotional trauma that occurs when we make a decision that I feel is valuable to the town or to our process, and some people aren't happy with it, well, you know what? You can dislike me for that. Or you can remember that you voted me in because you found me to be a sensible, logical person with maybe some skills that I'm bringing forth to this process. And, you know, I do have our best interests at heart. That is my agenda, the best interests of the town and our community and our three hamlets. There isn't a Tim Schiefen agenda here. There's a West Bloomfield, Ionia, and a North Bloomfield agenda at hand. And that's going to be the primary goal for my entire tenure, as long as you'll have me. In addition to that, you know, I've heard some chit chat on the street that people are just going to come at public comment time and just give us a hard time about stuff. And, you know, I don't welcome that. Bring me your ideas, bring me your questions, I'll answer them. Bring me your thoughts. Now, we have had some beneficial thoughts. We're going to move forward and we're going to start recording our Zoom meetings at the town hall meetings. And we're going to sign up for a YouTube platform, and we're going to make those meetings available on YouTube for those that want to watch them. So if they want to critique us, if they want to find the comments that their grandchildren are going to read about someday, whatever purpose, it'll be there for you. And I'm all for that. Those were some great comments that came forth. All right, let's move on. DPW. It's the first day of spring. Hooray. Our poor guys at the DPW have been working their tails off. I look at the vouchers, I look at the payroll, I look at the overtime numbers that come in for these guys that are dedicated, keeping our highways clear, salting our roads, plowing our roads. We've got a great staff up there. I can't thank them enough. We've got a great highway superintendent, Jeff Ball. He's a super guy. We've been friends a really, really long time, well before I ever thought about politics. What a great guy to work with. I know all four of our highway personnel personally. They're good men. They work hard. I can't thank them enough. And I think, if you're a resident of our town, you might want to say, hey, attaboy, good job, fellas. You're doing a great job for us. Our next town board meeting is April 8th. Like Honeoye Falls, we're going to have a public hearing about that tax cap too. My predecessor, myself, we're working very hard to keep our numbers in line, stay on budget. Try to keep things going without increases to our taxpayers. We've done that. Ontario counties kept their taxes to about 5 to 6%. So we're not looking at a huge increase there. But for you people that are upset about assessments and tax values and the tax burden, you need to go to the school board budget meetings, and you need to see how much money the school board is proposing to spend on things that may or may not be necessary, might be overly priced, might be a little too lavish, might be a little too lofty. That's where you really need to exercise some of your opinions and your thoughts and cast your vote. I don't want to cheat the kids out of anything wonderful. I don't want to cheat the kids out of anything fun or exciting or athletic trips or field trips or those things. But do we really need a brand new school bus garage off-site that's going to cost a fortune? That's going to put a tremendous load on your taxes that's not associated with the operation of the towns. So, do your homework. Get out there, understand the school budget, ask your questions, make your vote heard, and that's where you're going to save more money than here at the town. In regards to what's going on here, we're really kind of getting down to the last final pieces to get our town in proper order to move forward. Our clerk for the zoning board and planning board has resigned. We're going to refill that position right away. We've terminated the contract with our code enforcement officer that was here by the grace of a different municipality neighboring us. And we're now working with Jim Keir and Terry Saxby from Ontario County to staff our building department and take care of our code office. And that's an interim thing while we're putting an application out for a full-time code enforcement officer. I finally convinced the board, they've been leaning that way for some time. We need a full-time officer that's dedicated to our community, that's going to work for our best interests, and is going to be in the office when he or she is expected to be in the office and grow with us and become an asset like the rest of the people here in our town and our town employees. We need somebody that's in the game, has got skin in the game, and he's gonna be that ambassador to our community for these people that want to come here, build here, engineers that want to work here, and so on. I can't say enough. This is going to take some time, and the utilization of the county guys is going to cost us some money. We've got room in the budget for that, and we're going to work very hard to make sure that we stay within the constraints of the budget for those things. But if we want to fix it right, we got to fix it, and we got to fix it the right way. And that's going to segue me over way to something that I am going to pitch every week. This week, the pitch is for the Boy Scouts Troop 56 in West Bloomfield. Many of you know that I've been a Boy Scout leader for 23 years. Unfortunately, in January, I resigned as the committee chairman because it's a conflict of interest because we're chartered by the West Bloomfield Fire Department. So I am now a Boy Scout commissioner at large. I'm still a leader, but that segues me into what I've taught these Boy Scouts in the community for over 20 years. You need to create a plan. You need to form your plan. You need to study your plan. You need to adjust the plan, but then you need to implement the plan and you need to follow the plan. And that leads to success. And that's what I've taught these young people in the Scout program. And that's what I'm going to remind my voters and constituents today. We need a plan, and I have a plan, and I'm working my plan, and I'm implementing my plan. And the goal is a complete, fully functional town of West Bloomfield, ready to meet the challenges that are headed our way. And yeah, there's going to be some tough decisions, and yeah, there's going to be some emotional fallout once in a while. But you want to know something? I got strong shoulders, and I'm going to buckle down, and I'm going to make sure that our foundation is sound. So when we construct the rest of this machine, it's working, and it's working the way it needs to work. So you people out there are going to have a little patience. You're going to have a little understanding, and you're going to have a little faith in my ability to deliver what I promised to you people before I was voted into this office. So please bear with me. Come and be part of the process. Don't be part of the negativity and the emotional fallout and the flack that's going to daunt and hinder us along this path. So please work with us. I welcome your input, and I listen. I listen very well. Okay, last and not least, Ontario County. Ontario County's got some great things going on. Last night was my Board of Supervisors meeting, and at the meeting, we had a nice presentation from our Ontario County Historical Society, and I want to bring this up to the camera. In Ontario County, we've got this great thing going on. It's called a virtual museum. And our visitors to the Finger Lakes and our visitors to the region can find these historical placards placed all about Ontario County. They're all over. They're in Monroe County. There's a beautiful one right in front of Joe's town hall about the mill. And our plaques now have a QR code. You can scan the QR code. It'll teach you a little bit about the history. It'll tell you a little bit about the background of what that plaque represents. And they're all over our area. There's stuff in the downtown area of Canandaigua. There's stuff in every one of our residential communities. So come and experience the Finger Lakes. Come and check out some of these historical markers. Learn a little bit about our history. And please spend lots of money and fuel our economy. We love you. And with that, I'll sign off. And Joe, why aren't you wearing red?
I didn't get the memo, Tim.
All right. Steve Schultz has a meeting, so he wasn't able to be here today. However, he did want to announce the recent announcement or reiterate the recent announcement about the Mary Cariola Center and University of Rochester's IDD Center moving to a co-located facility in Marketplace Mall. And he also wanted to mention there was an article about this that talked about the $25 million funding from the Golisano, from Golisano, from Mary Cariola. But in addition to that, there was $5 million in discretionary funding from the state that was also allocated to the new Mary Cariola Center. So that was from Steve Schultz in the town of Henrietta. Now we're going to move over to, I won't say it. I was going to comment on your shirt, but that's all right. It's already been done. To Joe Halati in the town of Mendon. Joe, what's moving in Mendon?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope everybody had a safe and happy St. Patrick's Day. Got your fill of corned beef and cabbage. It seemed to be a great celebration between last week and this past Tuesday. Kind of a long St. Patty's Day. But yeah, it looked like people were having a lot of fun. So over here at Town Hall this past week, we had a consultation with a company who may be able to help us save some energy in our town facilities. We're looking for ways to save the town money all the time, and this could be a possible way. We're going to analyze the utility bills and evaluate the energy efficiencies and exploring other ways to save the town some money in this particular area. The town board member, Tom Voorhees, and Buildings and Grounds Department head, Kevin Junge, joined me for this meeting and provided valuable insight. I sincerely appreciate their commitment to helping move the town of Mendon forward and sharing their knowledge of the town and all the buildings with me, as well as this company that we may be working with. I also want to thank Kevin for his recent work he did at the library to improve the workplace environment for our library staff. Creating and maintaining a comfortable workspace that better enables the staff to continue serving our community is something that we like to do. So thank you very much, Kevin. Earlier this week, I met with a representative from the New York Department of Transportation to further discuss the Stony Lonesome Road Safety Plan and project. I'm continuing to learn more about this and the many options possible to make that intersection safe. The week before, we met with a large team of representatives, both the town engineer as well as people from New York State DOT and Monroe County, because all of these parties are involved in this particular project. So it makes it a little more difficult to solve some of the issues with improving safety there, but I assure you we're on the task and moving forward with that. I've also contacted the state DOT rep recently because of the intersection at 251 and Miles Square Road. Unfortunately, there was a serious crash there yesterday, and what I want to do is look at historic crash data, not for that intersection, but also some people in town did write me about that right after the accident, and of course it's foremost on people's minds, and that makes it foremost on my mind too. And I've lived here almost 30 years, and I think there's probably at least a handful of intersections that we all wonder about. And I would like to take a look at this with the DOT and look at the accidents that have occurred at these intersections. So it's not just Stony Lonesome Road, but maybe taking a look at all of the other roads where historically people might think it's dangerous. Some good work was done out at Boughton Hill and Route 64. And my understanding is that's made that intersection safer. And I want to keep looking at this. So if any members of our community have any concerns about a particular intersection, please write me, email me. Just go to the Town of Mendon website and you can get in touch with me there. It's jalotti@townofmendon.org. Feel free to write me. I'd like to hear what you have to say and any intersections you think we should take a good look at. Yesterday, I attended a virtual New York Association of Town Supervisors Roundtable. During that presentation, I was updated on the state budget, progress, and honestly, there's not really a lot to report there as they debate and negotiate. So I think that's going to be an ongoing process for a little while. More importantly, at that meeting, I learned about a new phishing scam identified by the New York Department of State. And on the broadcast yesterday, or the Zoom meeting, they were pointing out these phishing scams that are geared toward planning boards and zoning board, people that have business in front of those boards in other towns, and as well as our town it could be. But what they do is they send an email out to people that have business in front of the zoning or planning boards that looks like it's from the town, and it's asking for payment. And that's not how we operate here in Mendon, and this has not occurred in Mendon at all. But I did want to bring it to people's attention that we learned about it, and it's something that everyone should be aware of. Brooke Buckland, our zoning board and planning board clerk secretary, she's on top of this situation, has been well informed about it even a few weeks before I was. So she's on top of it, and we're all going to work together to make sure our public and people that have business in front of those boards know how we get payment for fees and things like that. so that nobody's taken advantage of. The important thing is if you have any doubts about something you get emailed, then, please contact the town. Give us a call or an email and we'll help you with it. Um, the other thing I wanted to say about that is those emails, they look very real. And these fraudulent companies and scammers are getting really, really good at doing that. So we have to really keep our guard up, all of us. I had something come on my desk and enter into my calendar that was a scam and a phishing expedition to try and get information from me. And luckily, I noticed that there was something odd about it and it didn't respond. And we got our IT people on it. Anyway, we're all faced with this every single day, and it's really too bad, but it's a reality of life these days. New York State celebrates Arbor Day the last Friday of April. This year, it's April 24th. Trees are great for our air quality and environment, and perhaps you'll consider planting a tree this spring. Up next at Town Hall, we have the Climate Smart Communities Task Force. We'll meet Tuesday, March 24th. Zoning Board will meet the 26th. And these meetings are open to the public. Residents are encouraged to attend, and unless otherwise specified, all meetings are held at 16 West Main Street, the hall by the falls. And if you're looking for the Village Hall, that's across the bridge on East Street. Anyway, that's all I've got, and have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Joe. I will add about the phishing scam. If you are suspicious of anything, always check where that email came from. Sometimes they don't disguise where it comes from, and that'll tell you. The other thing you can do, and this is, you have to be very careful when you do this, put the cursor over any sort of link that's in that email, and in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, it will say where that link is directed. If it's going to a place that you don't recognize, don't click it. For sure, don't click it. And maybe even if you do recognize it, if you're not sure, the best thing to do is call directly. Don't you click the email. So this is an issue that occurs not just to what Joe says, but all the time. So this is a general courtesy reminder from the Sentinel. Rick or Tim, anything more to add?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
So I got to ask Joe, did the Monroe County's New York State DOT engineer work with you on your Stony Lonesome Road issue? Because if you spoke to him, he's one of my former Boy Scouts.
I think
Just wanted to throw that out there.
That might have been a state thing. Was that a state thing, Rick? Stony Lonesome, or is that a county thing?
It's a state thing because 65 is a state
both are
thing.
involved.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool that he's your former Boy Scout. Just goes to show you. All right. Anything more to add, or are we ready to break up? All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being for watching this. Remember, the program airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page or subscribe to the channel, and those services will announce to you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for now. Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.